First off, the Missouri Homeownership Preservation Network, which is one of the sponsors of this, is a group of organizations throughout the state. It was a way for organizations and legislators to get together to talk about the foreclosure crisis that we're facing and what can be done, to improve the situation.
Public policy here, it's not just about government, it's about policies by nonprofit entities and by private sector actors that need to take action to solve this crisis. We're not just talking about government. And the goal here is not a government-mandated marketplace of any sort. The goal is to make private markets function the way they should. When counselors are asked what are the main obstacles to helping people to modify their loan and stay in their home, right? And of course the main one, as Bill was referring to, right, is job loss or reduction in wages. The second most likely response, which was just behind this, was slow or no response from servicers. And 6 of the top 7 challenges referred to servicer problems again.
Too often we blame the consumer. We say that the consumer was irresponsible, was impractical, or we say that the banks just weren't watching the register and this crisis just sort of naturally grew out of that. But in reality, there were some other elements that entered into why there was a bubble, why home prices seemed to suddenly jump in value.
What's a little scary is that delinquencies are very high and they continue to be on the rise. And of course, the delinquency precedes the foreclosures. There's a new wave of resets coming, unfortunately, with these option arms. The problem is that compared to the subprime loans, the option arm resets are much more dramatic in terms of the change in the mortgage payment that's likely to arise. And I showed you earlier in the originations that the peak period was 05 and 06, while subprime mortgages tend to reset in 2 years. The option arms are 5 or 6 years. So the peak period for the option arm resets are still to come in 2010, 2011, and 2012.
One of the problems that got us here was the failure at the national, at the local, business, government, individuals to face facts. We were trying to deny reality, and we were trying to paper over this weak, structurally weak economy with lots of borrowing and spending that we couldn't afford, and we got ourselves into a position now where we're seeing everything fall apart at the same time.
In Missouri, the state will lose $1.9 trillion in home equity wealth due to nearby foreclosures. More than 1.6 million homes will experience foreclosure-related decline as a result of the 114,000 foreclosures that will happen by 2012.
In perspective, we think about robbery and burglary and larceny as being a huge impact crime, but in the first 3 quarters of 2008, there was $41 million lost from those types of violent crime. In the same period, mortgage fraud was reported in excess of $1.4 billion of loss. But our focus in the U.S. Attorney's Office is on fraud for profit, and that's where 80% of the losses due to fraud are. Unfortunately, by many of the calculators, Missouri is in one of the top 10 states for mortgage fraud.
People want to blame just subprime mortgages for the problem, but the biggest problem was the undue influence by the lenders for the appraisers to inflate the value of the properties, either for sales or for refinances, causing negative equity in the property, which led to this mortgage mess, which a lot of it was mortgage fraud. I have seen, doing reviews for the government as well as lawyers, an appraiser for $750 of income would commit $750,000 in mortgage fraud.
We've seen an explosion in foreclosures and foreclosure-related concerns coming to our office. To illustrate that point, in 2008, the Attorney General's office received 25 complaints about debt modification and foreclosure relief companies, 25. In 2009, the Attorney General's office received 286 complaints in the same category. So a 10-fold increase just literally over 1 year.
We have been successful in prosecuting these cases. The Attorney General, based on his direction to us, has given us authority to file not only in Missouri courts, but also through our cooperation with other states and with the Federal Trade Commission. We have joined in actions for operators, for foreclosure consultants operating in other states, and have been successful in recovering millions of dollars for individuals.
Well, I think from what was said today, it's bleak, and it can get even bleaker with 2010. The good thing is we're not as bad as other states, but still we have a definite problem.
Foreclosure impacts everybody, so it's not just an isolated situation. And if we understand that one person can make a difference, whether you're volunteering to help out with some of the agencies, letting other people know if you've been through a struggle, and just helping in general, I think all of the actors of this play, if we work together, we can make a difference.